What is up, everybody? Hopefully, you can hear me this week.
Yes, I can confirm.
Well, last 2 weeks, what a shit show it's been on Twitter. I mean,
Everywhere. It's been a shit show.
we got to start with it. I mean, we can't leave it later. We got to kick it off. For those of you who haven't seen, there was a new player in the streaming market for about 3 weeks. Some of you probably have seen it as GamerNetwork. It looks to be a bit of a shambles going on over there, and it looks just to be purely a scam site.
Yeah. So they came about. What was it? Early November, I think.
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
Probably late October, early November. They really started to sort of make a presence. You know, some very bold claims were made from GamerNetwork. And they were interesting, to say the least. I mean, a lot of it was revolved around monetization. So,
yeah,
like,
they seemed to suck
offering...
a lot of people in on that, didn't they?
They did, and I mean, it's a big playing card, really. You know, because they were offering, a 70-30 splits.
Right, but you had to pay fees.
Yeah, well, that's like the fine print.
So that was going to bring it down to sort of 60 anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but they offering 100% donation pass through. It's like any donations that were made, 100% go to the user. I don't know how that would work. What, do you have to hand over your bank account information so it's like direct deposit? Yeah, that's the only way I can think that's gonna happen. And like there were just I can't remember the other things. I'm trying to find screenshot I had. I probably sent it to you. But oh no, that's not that one. Give me a second. No, there was so many screenshots of everything that happened.
It's been on the whole last 2 weeks. It's just been an absolute abolishment of anything worthy to call a platform. They're preying on that small streaming thing. They're trying to, give people hope that they can get better stuff and whatever else. And it was just,
I've lost it. Yeah,
the way it was done was just wrong.
It was pretty much childish. Like if you happen to see everything that was put into their Twitter, I say their Twitter, it was just gross. Like it was such a childish operation. I mean, one of the oh, was it
in planning? Yeah, it's a 70-30 split on pin-it messages. So the pin message at the top of chat was probably something else you're looking for. No payout threshold, lower payout fees on the streamer's end.
Yeah.
And no partner or affiliate needed to monetize. So again, pretty much running almost identical to Glimish in the payout options and stuff like that. So
yeah. All right. So they had bold claims, which a lot of startups tend to have. I was extremely skeptical because they were very bold claims like that from someone just out of nowhere. They were extraordinarily bold, but it was the communications on Twitter that really sort of solidified the deal. We're talking about GamerNetwork. So, all right, a lot of their tweets are going to be very out there, and if you don't like them, I'm sorry, but we're going to talk about some of them anyway. So one of the ones that really sort of got me, and this was really early on too, the tweet was, let's be real, if it's not a 70-30 split for all, it's slavery. That one's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, that's,
you don't do that. That's just...
certain lines you don't cross, and they've crossed them very much in the last couple of weeks. I mean, for one, to throw that out as slavery, to just to throw that word into a tweet as a company that you're representing a company. We've come to find out it was all one person, but even so, that's not.
Yeah.
It's not something you play with. Like that's not even a joke. You don't even go around
No,
that stuff. It's just
you
wrong.
don't touch the slavery card. That's not
No.
a card that you play, especially as a professional business that you should be.
That you're claiming to be.
Yeah, but the whole backbone behind GamerNetwork was that they wanted a platform for all where everyone was accepted, and trolls and people who essentially hated other people would not have a place in that community. But as a premise, that's fine. I mean, that kind of makes sense, right? You want a safe place for everyone. That's cool. But the fact that they did the exact opposite of what they were promising, just
Well, I mean, their Twitter, their Twitter was a complete opposite of what they're trying to say their platform was, wasn't it? I mean, let's be honest. Their Twitter was a complete opposite.
One of these tweets, it was from early November. Breaking news: trolls suck PP. Clearly, this is a very immature person looking after
the social media of a company.
All right, so this goes off in so many tangents. It's very hard to sort of keep it in some sort of linear order. So apparently there was a social media manager, right? Apparently. Very big quotation, very big quotation marks there. Social media manager. And this person went hell for leather. Like, the stuff they were tweeting was just gross. They were ripping shit on everyone. Anyone who questioned the platform, they would sort of retaliate. Basically doing the exact opposite of what they were promising the platform, wouldn't do.
For those of us out there who have made the elitist club, you get blocked.
Yeah, and people were getting blocked.
Someone like Speed over here has to be asked to be blocked.
All right, so and that was the other thing. That was the other childish behavior, is that people were getting blocked for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah,
like people were questioning the ethics of the platform, or
where's your safety policy? Where's your TOS? Where's all that kind of stuff? And then they get blocked because it's coming. Like, no, it's not. No,
it's like, oh, well, how are you going to deal with this situation, or how are you going to do this? This doesn't make sense. Can you explain it to me? And people would just get banned. I mean, there were people getting banned who didn't even do anything. I mean, Parko was one of them.
Association.
Parko was one of them. Yeah. So a comment was made that was sort of like looked down upon whatever they were doing, and Parko happened to like it. Parko was then banned
from association.
Yeah, from GamerNetwork. And I was watching people drop off like flies. Like, you went, and like other people went. They're like, "Oh, I've been banned by GamerNetwork. Can't see their profile anymore."
It was almost.
I'm tweeting away. I'm ripping shit like nearly every day, and just nothing's happening. It came to the point where I had to ask for it. I asked
for
to be
3
banned.
days. It was almost like that.
Yeah,
it was almost like everyone was just like, "Oh, I've been blocked. I've been blocked. I've been blocked. I've been blocked. My whole feed at one stage was like people just been blocked from fucking GamerNetwork. It's like you can't have this platform over here that you're trying to embrace, and being a starter platform as well, and then have your social media manager burning the shit out of your entire community. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And the problem with with what they did, and this is a problem that it's going to now stem, and it's probably going to have to somewhere at the line have to be like kind of like the tide's going to have to sort of stop a little bit, but it's going to bring a bad reputation to the smaller platforms who are trying to come out. Your share plays, Gloomish, for example. Pardon me. Even Brime, a place like that, people are going to go, oh yeah, but they're just small scam sites like GamerNetwork was. They're offering all this shit, and that's all they're going to see is they're going to see a comparison. So in a lot of ways, GamerNetwork has done a really big injustice to the industry by doing what they did. 90% of people know who he is and what his history was, but it's still not the same. It's harder now for the smaller platforms to now develop and grow more to get into that market.
Well, I see that as a twofold problem, right? So you've got that where, if your promises are too bold, people are going to think you're a scam. But if you're offering too little, people are going to complain that you don't have enough and want more.
That's right.
So
that's what I'm saying. They've done an injustice to the industry.
Yeah, just the way they carried on. Like I have never seen a company backpedal so much in my life. Like even when Microsoft backpedaled on the whole game sharing thing for the Xbox One, like that was some pretty big backpedaling. But this was something completely different. Like everything that came out was backpedaled like a day or two later. People were asking for things like merch. That was a big one.
Oh, that was a whole nother freaking saga. That is.
All right, so people wanted merch. So immediately, like almost, within a few hours,
instantly,
like just somehow there were T-shirts that were on sale, and you could purchase T-shirts. And at some point, everyone cracked the shits about something. I think it was just more about the whole scam thing, like that all they're doing is just taking your money because,
Well, I mean, who offers an affiliate program purely for a merchandise that you're selling before you launch? Like, I mean, come on.
Oh, then that came. You could be an affiliate for the merch to get a bonus. Store. Like, all because people asked for an affiliate, right? Not affiliate on the platform. They weren't really specific about it. They were like, "Can we have affiliate?" So the decision came that there was affiliate for the merch store. And something happened, everyone cracked the shits, and then they backpedaled and went, oh, we're not selling shirts anymore. Or sorry, we're not selling any merch. And we're going to refund all the people who had purchased all of that. And I can confirm that the money is being sent back. There was a tweet a few days ago saying that the money was being sent back. But I mean, there's a bigger problem because there was no tangible.
They were reported to PayPal, yes, and they were blocked on PayPal.
Yeah. So the biggest problem was that there was no tangible site. No. That was the biggest flag for me. Like all they had was a concept page, which can easily be mocked up. You just use stock images and whatnot.
Exactly.
But that's all they had until they deleted everything on their Twitter, which was another retaliation move. That was another backpedal move because everyone was cracking the shits at how they were handling things. So what's the best way to handle a bad rep? You delete everything off your Twitter.
Delete it all. Yeah, that's right. Delete all.
Apart from like 3 tweets that make no sense. So it took me a bit of digging to find it, but I did find it, and it was just there was nothing there. There was no tangible site, and it even took me some digging to go back to the link to go to their website. And the website, and I'm pretty sure their beta sign-up page got more detailed after the first time I went there. It was asking some very interesting questions. For a beta sign-up, there was some personal
Yeah.
questions there were
Yeah.
very questionable. So naturally, people started, questioning them. All you're doing is, sort of mining for personal data, really. And they made stupid comments like, well, most places steal your data and sell it off anyway, and just
Yeah. So
really,
just yeah. That was
really
probably the
dumb.
dumbest tweet I saw out of
Yeah,
that entire week.
like
Most places just steal it anyway. So what are you worried about? What the?
yeah, like they just couldn't help themselves. And it just kept getting better and better. Like every day was a brand new surprise. There was always something
Yeah.
new that they backpedaled on. Uh,
It's almost like
so
Christmas.
yeah, it was fucking stupid. So like at one stage, right, they'd obviously copped so much flack that they sent out a tweet saying the founder has resigned due to public demand.
You
But
fired your only
but
person in the fucking company.
no, oh, sorry. All right, let's go back a little bit. So before that happened, the social media, right? So there was all that garbage tweets that were coming out, and everyone cracked the shits, and then they notified everyone that the social media manager had been fired, okay, and had been replaced by a new person, and that their actions were dealt with and whatnot. Okay, fine. The next day, the tweets started rolling out again in the same fashion that they were with the old social media manager. Like they were almost the exact same tweets, phrased in the exact same way. Not like not as gross and vulgar as the original ones were, but the original tweets. Like they were basically almost copy paste. And it just
Yeah.
kept cycling through. Like you'd see them just cycle round and round. And then people started calling him out. It was this Benji guy, because obviously there were people on the inside that knew exactly who this was, and the whole thing was just a one-man show. The whole scenario, one-man show. Like
Yeah.
the he was the founder, he was the social media manager, he was the one running the website, he was the one collecting the information, he was the one setting up the merch store. Like he was this team. But then to find out that the founder had resigned due to public demands, but then the company still carries on after the fact. Like what?
Yeah.
It
How do you
was
get rid of the only person on your company as the founder and everything else? How do you get rid of that person and still have a company?
it was knee jerk reactions.
Yeah.
It was so bad. It was like, oh, people are cracking the shits. Okay, let's come up with an idea. The founder resigns. We're going to replace the founder, or say that we've replaced the founder,
With a new CEO.
with a new CEO, and the company is just going to continue on doing whatever it's doing.
Yeah.
Just, ah,
I mean, I guess the main point we're trying to get here is make sure you're doing your due diligence and checking these places out, checking in. You can never be too cautious about making sure that where you're going to call home or where you're going to take your stream stuff to or anything like that, your community, make sure that you do your checks. Check social medias, go and, check websites, Google search it, just have a look and pay attention
yeah.
because, sometimes, you know,
ah,
it
the,
just definitely is a too good to be true moment, and
uh,
that shows a lot.
I mean, at first it was too good to be true, but then it started getting really bad. I mean, the red flags were everywhere. The fact that they had tweeted out they were going to ban uh, the LBGTQ plus community because of comments that were said. Like,
But the other thing that I found
that's
funny,
as
you
bad
talked
as
about
the
the bans
slavery
there.
card.
You talk about the bans,
Mm.
but they were a UK based thing, and they said they're going to ban the UK people. Like what?
Oh, yeah, all right.
Like what the fuck?
So,
like how do you like? What goes through your brain to say that?
So prior to that, there was, there was no talk about anything. As far as we knew, the site was going to launch. Everyone was going to use it, and then a tweet came out saying that the platform was only going to be launched in select countries. It didn't say which select countries. It was just select countries, and it was just sort of all up in the air. No one really knew, but we all knew that Benji was based in the UK. That's where this dude is. So GamerNetwork was based in the UK, and then came out with a tweet saying maybe we should ban the UK. Why would you ban the main country?
The country you're in.
And then it was like, update: Australia has been added to the list. What list? No one's seen a list. There's no list of countries. Then there was like, it's a joke, or is it? Sorry, that's no. That you do not run a company like that.
But yet you're running a streaming site for everybody, but yet you're going to ban people. Like, I mean, come on now, like.
And then they
do your checks.
Then they went on the blocking people saga, where they went ham on blocking people. Anyone who questioned the platform, they just blocked everyone. Until it got to a point where they actually disabled the account. Like, the GamerNetwork Twitter account does not exist anymore.
Nope.
Right? They closed it all off. But there was a message. I think this is it. Yeah. So they stated. Oh no, sorry. Sorry, that was a fake one. Ah, damn. But it was funny. I'm going to read it anyway.
The actual GamerNetwork CO account is gone. It doesn't exist. Yes. The OC, which is a parody account, still exists.
Yeah. So the parody account tweeted this, and it's quite funny. It said, this reminder, parody account, not the actual one. It said, don't worry, everyone. We deleted our account so that when we remake it, people will be unblocked. It's just easier than going and unblocking accounts by hand. I'm only one guy. I mean, we're a small team. Yeah. Then like it was like an hour after that. All right, guys, I spent today away from the Bird app. We just hired a social media manager too, not Benji. How's everything going? Then like another hour after that. Yeah, I don't know why anyone thinks we're actually launching a streaming platform. Thanks for all your personal data, though. The jabs were real. I mean, and they're justified.
And there's also an anti-GamerNetwork Twitter account as well, which exposes the truth about, Benji attacking, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and shit like that. So this is a big-winded project that goes long before any of us have sort of gotten onto it. So,
and the funny thing is, there's actually documentation stating that GamerNetwork had blocked the UK. There's documentation on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's mind-blowing.
But like, GamerNetwork was supposed to launch in what, 2 weeks' time?
2023.
Beta? No, well, the beta access was supposed to launch in 2 weeks.
December, yeah.
But there was you went onto the Discord. I'm gonna guess that there was nothing in the Discord.
No, the Discord. Okay, so when I first I checked early on because I'd had a word with Paco and I was talking to him about it, and so I said to him, hey, is there a Discord link to GamerNetwork? Because I knew he'd been around and he'd also spoken about it. So I got in, and the first Discord was like 2 channels. That was it. Anyway, then they come out with this other Discord, and the Discord was just like absolutely massive. Like there was channels everywhere. Like it looked like a full-fledged Discord. It looked like like your Glimish or whatever Discord. It was a full-fledged like Discord. Like, hey, this is like FAQs. This is where you find your support. This is that, everything like that. So it looked the part. It really did. And then just watching some of the things on Twitter, and I was just like, yeah, I'm going to leave that one. I didn't want to hang around in there very long. But
I guess
it was. I mean, it was the original Discord was a 2-channel Discord. It was nothing. There was no anything.
But was there anything on there regarding the site itself?
No.
So
not that I ever saw.
So we're 2 weeks out. There's no viable platform. As far as we know, they're still taking acceptance for the beta. Like all we know is that they've closed down. I don't know. You go to the website. that'll
I'll have a look.
That'll answer that. But I mean, they were talking about beta access is coming soon. Emails going out to people who signed up to beta soon. Whatnot. But
yeah, it just says coming in 2023. There's no access. There's no sign up. There's nothing. It's just a
right. So there's nothing.
Image. No,
there's nothing, and there was no page shown.
No,
yeah, so it was all a scam. The whole thing was a scam. There was no money in the first place. I mean, that's why you start selling merch. I mean, there was pictures of merch. There was no actual merch. That's why you start selling merch first thing, and entice people to come through with money incentives, to help fund the platform. It was never going to launch ever.
No,
I mean, if it does, no one's going to fucking trust them.
No one's going to believe it now, anyway. Yeah, because of the bullshit that's happened. Yeah,
just everything that happened on Twitter. No one's going to just have any sort of faith in that platform. Just the way it was handled.
I mean,
just bad.
It's not something you want to put your community into. Let's say that.
No, it definitely wasn't. So keep an eye out for it.
And just be aware of what it is.
Be aware of GamerNetwork. They are not to be trusted with anything. Whatever they say, take it with a massive grain of salt. If you see anything that's offensive or anything like that, that is exactly who they are. That is what they believe in. So be very wary of that one. I don't think we'll see it come back around. If it does come back around, it's just going to be the same bullshit all over again. Just going to do the same old excuses. Oh, look, we've come back. New staff on a new platform.
I'd want to see documentation that, that it is actually not registered to that person and that there is actually a viable option for it.
Yeah.
Before I gave it any ounce of trust.
It wasn't even registered as a business. That's the thing. Right, they had registered for merch sales and like a couple of other things, but as a business, it wasn't a business. That was probably the biggest thing. So
I'm pretty sure he did actually have a proper documentation. But again, documentation, like how hard is it to bodge
there was so much that was missing that he should have.
Yeah, there was a lot of information that wasn't disclosed properly.
So there was a lot of stuff that was required by law in the UK that he didn't have. So,
but anyway. Leaving that subject where it is, make sure you do your diligence. Make sure you're checking. If you ask a question and you get kind of shut down very quickly, red flag that. Watch it. Try not to put yourself in that position. I mean, it is It's hard enough in the streaming industry, let alone when you've got these little pains in the backside coming through and trying to make it even harder. And they're preying on the small streamer too. They're seeing that Twitch and YouTube and Facebook are really phasing out that small streamer. They're only focused on the big 15%. And these places are going to pop up. They're going to do these things. Just be careful. Is the main point. I mean, you don't want to get sucked into one of these fake things and then end up in a bad position.
And if you're skeptical, just wait a few weeks. See
Reach
if
out.
anything actually
Reach out to us.
Yeah.
Reach out to SideNote here. We'll happily investigate it. We'll happily talk about it.
I mean, if there's information to be found,
we don't mind.
We'll find it. But yeah, if you're skeptical, just wait. Do a bit of research, see if there's any sort of tangible evidence behind whatever it is you're looking to before you go signing your life.
All right. So moving on. Now, this is a subject that I guess has been very overlooked in the streaming industry, and I know you and I have recently spoken about it, Speed, and even to some degree we've overlooked it as well. And I want to get this one. We want to try and get the chat involved in this subject, and we want to try and get some points. Do you believe that you should disclose your relationship to your stream?
Absolutely. Sorry, that is the long and short of it. No.
Yeah. Look, I totally agree. I do totally agree with you. The reason this has come up is there's been a lot of influx in the last probably week, I'd say, especially on the socials about streamers going to Twitch cons and all these events and whatnot, and being stalked and harassed by subs or by their mods and shit like that because I've modded for you for like 2 years. We should be having a thing right now. We should have this relationship. You're mine. There needs to be a clear definition that you're modding for a streamer, not their personal life. You mod the stream, you keep the chat in line, you make sure none of the rules are broken. And that's pretty much it. That's where it ends.
Same thing comes with donations as well. I think a couple of shows back, there was that one person who donated like some ridiculous amount of money and sort of expected a relationship to
like
form
I'm giving
out
you
of
like
that.
$500. We should be.
I'm helping you live your life. We should be a thing. It's that possession aspect of it. And the same thing came around with Amaranth. When the truth came out not when the truth came out, when it was revealed that she had a husband, everyone was like up in arms. Like, well, I thought you were single. It's like, what the fuck? I'm not going to sub to you
That's why
anymore.
I've supported you for like the last 3 years.
Yeah. Because I thought you were hot.
I got a second job. I got a second job to. I got a second job just to support you. Like, look, understanding the fact that you're not. I mean, like, well and good. Like, I mean, yeah, sure. There's incidences where you'll meet up with a streamer, aka we've met up with Chalk and obviously met up with Speed and vice versa. But there's a certain point where you have to understand that if that streamer says no, I mean that's the answer. No, it's respect it, move on. Like,
you
get on with your life.
Respect streamer.
It's ridiculous. Like most people on a stream, they'll be the same person on stream as they are off stream. Generally, just what they are, but they'll have that persona. I mean, if you go and look at Dr. Disrespect, he lives that persona. He goes out into a con, he's living that persona. He's pushing that point. But I can guarantee you, around the family and things like that, he's not Dr. Disrespect. He is just a family man. He's just there. He's just chilling with the family, doing his thing. So understand that, what you see on the screen, it may not be exactly what you're thinking it is or what you have in your mind. But like I said, I'd love to hear your guys' input on that as well. Like, drop comments in the chat down below, or even drop them in live while you're here on Glimish. Let us know your thoughts on that.
People are entitled to their privacy. They like to keep their private lives away from their streaming life, and that's fine. You're allowed to do that. Like, you're absolutely allowed to do that. you don't have to be completely open and honest about every little facet of your life. Like,
Nope.
like
If you choose to reveal that, that's up to you. But
yeah, like I'm
it shouldn't
fairly
be a
open
prerequisite.
about everything. I will talk about a lot about my life, probably more than I should. But that's just who I am. I'm okay with sharing that sort of information. Obviously,
But that's your choice, though. It's not a prerequisite that you have to
Yeah.
sign up to. That's
But people are allowed to keep personal details personal. It doesn't.
well, yeah. I mean,
it shouldn't matter whether they're in a relationship or they're married or they've got kids or it shouldn't matter at all.
it shouldn't matter about their job, how much they make, how much they don't make. Are they medically fit? Are they unfit? Do they play? So it shouldn't matter. None of that should matter. What you're there on the stream for is to interact with the streamer and obviously watch, the game and interact with the chat. I mean, that's what you're there for. That as a viewer, that's what you're doing. Like,
it's not.
I don't understand how this line gets so fucking blurred.
Yeah, you don't go onto Twitch to start dating people.
Like, when I said, hey, I found out you're in Queensland, I was like, oh shit, we're only in like an hour away. We should catch up. You're like, oh yeah, let's do it. If you'd have turned and said, nah, fuck that, I'd be like, oh, okay, move on. Next thing, it wouldn't. You've got to respect that individual on the other side. You can't just because you sub or donate or whatever. It doesn't mean that it's your property.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I've subbed to you now. We're friends. No.
Yeah. I want something in return for my sub. A little bit of, come on. Yeah, no, it doesn't.
No, it should never.
Another streamer. I was actually talking to another streamer on the platform yesterday. Actually, I'll probably give him a shout out. Touch of Oblivion has come over and actually restarted streaming. It hasn't streamed since 2023. And he went to one of the TwitchCons in, I think it was 2019. And one of his friends he went with was getting stalked. So she pretty much locked herself in the hotel. That's the kind of shit that needs to stop in the industry. It needs to cease existence because a streamer shouldn't fear for their safety when they're out in public. They shouldn't fear going to an event or a con or anything like that. They should be able to go there with, safety in mind and be like, oh, this is going to be fun, and actually go and enjoy the event. You wouldn't do it to an actor. You wouldn't go and say, "Oh, I've watched every episode of your latest like Walking Dead, so you're now mine." Like, you just don't do it. Like, show some respect.
There are a lot of creepy people out there, but we're just people. We should be respected as people and treated as such. Not, it'd be like me, walking up to Scarlett Johansson, be like, "Oh my god, you're so beautiful, marry me." Like, that's just
creepy much?
It's just weird. It's just weird. Yeah, like, I absolutely adore Scarlett Johansson, but I would never do that to anyone. It just
because, I mean, there's a point where you become an adult and you realize that that's actually a person. No matter what they are in a movie, they're still just a person.
But it's the same as streaming. Like, following a streamer around a convention, that is stalking. That is illegal. Do not do that.
That's creepy.
Keeping.
I mean, hell, if you want to follow me around, I'm all for it. But hey,
watch me take a shit for all I care. But like keeping tabs on them, knowing which room they're in their hotel, or knowing what they eat or how they eat, or their outside stream behaviors, keeping tabs on that, figuring out what it is that they like and try and, appeal to that sort of nature. Don't. That's just don't.
And in some ways,
the creepiest thing ever.
This is the thing we had a joke about the other day, but the more I've thought about it the last couple of days, something like Treat Stream has really made that connection so much easier. Because the streamer goes in and says, oh, I don't like a Big Mac, but I'll have a McChicken. So instantly you know what the streamer likes. Because the streamer's not going to put something on that list they're not going to eat. So someone goes into Treat Stream and goes, oh, Speed likes the Big Mac. I'm going to buy him 4 because he'll love me more because he likes that. They've made things like that so much easier and invasive. And I guess, I mean, in some ways, the mantra of just having a streaming site with bare bones, none of that integration bullshit, just allows you to be a streamer without that invasive connection.
See, it's sort of a problem though, because it sort of comes down to the streamer as well. You want to be you, but you also don't want to be you. You want to hold back from being you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't want to be too personal, because once you start being too personal, that's when the creeps start coming in. But you don't want to be too disconnected, because then you're not going to be entertaining.
This is the problem with
basically
streaming,
just going to
though,
be a robot.
Yeah, but this is the problem with streaming, though, is everyone now expects it, don't they? I was talking to Memory Leak stream before. He was doing more of that coding on for Glimish, and I was saying to him, it's become lazy, like Twitch in a lot of ways. As much as it is the platform that everyone's kind of drawn to, it's made a lot of lazy streamers. Like, they won't eat unless someone treats them, gets treats, so you got to support the streamer. They won't do certain things, like they won't make their own clips because, I don't need to. It's just fucking there. I just leave it alone. I don't need to record my streams because the VOD will get it. Like, it's created a lazy streamer. And it's not until you move to, say, a site like when Trovo first launched, and Brime and Glimish and stuff, where it's bare bones and you've actually got to do things, that you realize that there's a little bit more to streaming than just turning the button on and going live.
But coming into that is the whole, people who stream and have that massive donation goal on their streams.
Yeah.
It's like, help me pay rent, or, I need food for my children, or like some bullshit fucking reason. And people will fall into that trap as well.
But that's what I'm saying, though. You should get those streamers who are out there and they go, I haven't eaten all day. Someone get me treat stream because I'm here on stream and I can't go and cook. So someone, so it's playing on that. It's playing on that level of like simpiness or creepiness. It's playing on that because someone's going to go, I'm going to get on there first. Go and get her. I'm going to go and get her a burger and a drink because, she'll love me. And that's the problem that we're seeing, is these invasive connections are causing more and more of this problem.
It's a possessional behavior.
Exactly.
You're mine now. I've helped you out.
I bought you dinner 5 nights this week. You like, come on now.
Yeah, clearly we're dating now, because
when can we sleep
I gave
together?
you all of my savings. I helped you.
Yeah, right.
I sacrificed my living so you could live. We live together now.
Exactly. That's right. It's crazy.
just dumb. It's creepy.
But like I say, if those lobster tails were cheap, yeah, right. But again, drop comments in the video and just let us know. Do you feel that a streamer should reveal their relationship to their stream? Love to hear your comments on that, and really would want to see some info on that, because at the end of the day, it is a growing problem within the industry.
Yeah. And if you do think, whatever your answer is, please back it up with some sort of information. If you think they shouldn't, back it up. If you think they should, back it up.
Absolutely open to see and read those opinions and stuff. Really want to hear from you guys, because this is very community orientated question, because again, it's such a wide open field right now, and it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon.
No, if anything, it's probably going to get worse.
It will get worse
as time goes on. It will get to a point where it just sort of collapses in on itself and just creates this massive drama. Where,
you're kind of seeing a lot of, like, okay, maybe we spoke about, I know a couple of shows back, about the VTubers and stuff like that, the PNG tubers. Maybe there's a reason that they're doing that. It's because they feel safe that way. They don't see people on the camera. You know, they can't be seen. You know,
Yeah.
that already is a bad apple in a fruit basket. It's not. That shouldn't have to be there. You know.
Yes, man, Jackson.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the whole VTuber thing. You know, it is a privacy thing. You know, it sort of replaces the webcam. You know, because if you've got a webcam on stream, you know, it is that sort of connection with the stream
Yep.
that you are actually seeing
them as an individual.
So having that, you know, that animated VTuber there, it's sort of like that connection. It's like you see,
exactly,
sort of what they're doing, but it's not actually them. So it's that connection, but it's very disconnected at the same time. And
but that then leads to the next point with those VTubers is like there are some who are legitimately doing it because of safety reasons, and I respect that, and I do get that. And then you've got the ones who turn it into, oh, look how big I can make my boobs. Oh, look at what I can do. You know, like I get the physics and I get the bounce and I get everything, you know, and then they start talking to match that character. So they create their own little hub, I guess, of this needy, creepy shit going on.
But for some people, that's probably what they're into. That's what they see as sort of entertainment. They like to be into that character. Others do it because they know it's going to get views. You know,
that's more what it is.
Yeah, you can't really go, well, I mean, if you're doing this, you're clearly doing it for this reason. There's different reasons for everything.
No, that's
so
right.
Mixed up now.
But what I'm saying, though, is you've got the ones who are doing it legitimately as a safety precaution, like so they don't get seen. And then you've got the some who are just taking that and then evolving it into, I'm going to do something because I know I'm going to get the views for it.
Yes. Yeah. No,
so that's what I'm saying, is there's two sides to that.
Yeah. I have seen both sides of that coin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting, to say the least.
But it's everywhere. It's not just isolated to Twitch or Facebook or anything. It's across the industry.
Oh,
it's everywhere.
And on social media as well.
Social media as well is huge for it.
Yeah. You can't escape it.
Anyway, let's moving away from that.
Yes.
Let's get into some. I know you're itching to talk tech stuff. I know you've got this itch right there.
All right.
You've been wanting to talk about this, so go on, take it away.
I did want to talk about it. I mean, all right. So AMD announced their brand new, I wouldn't say Radeon GPUs because they're not really Radeon GPUs now. They've gone back to the RX naming. So they announced their RX 7900 XTX and 7900 XT. So they've gone back to an older school style of naming, which I mean it's fine. I mean my first GPU was a Radeon X 1900 XTX. Like it was, I had to get that imported in. It wasn't even available in the country then. But I'm very interested to see where this GPU goes. Like we obviously had major discussions one night about this GPU. To make it very clear, the 7900 XTX is not a competitor for the RTX 4090. That is not its designed purpose. It was to be a competitor for the now 4080. So there's going to be a lot of torment amongst the community with that, because everyone was hoping for a 4090 killer.
I'm not going to do it to you. I've made my points pretty clear in our chat.
Okay, it has some upsides and it has some downsides, naturally, but I think
all GPUs do.
As they do. They definitely tried to play a balancing game. It is $600 cheaper than the 4090, and it's still cheaper than the 4080 by like $200 or something. It has 8-pin connectors, big win. It's got a whole new chiplet design, which no one else is using. And I think the chiplet design, which is what I discussed with you, is a starting point to the next big thing.
Yeah, exactly right.
It must be. I mean, this is the first step to a much bigger,
I do agree,
much more aggressive GPU.
Yeah, I do agree with what you're saying. It's got to be a much more beginner type process at this point. Like they've got to be starting from a new design perspective to get this where they want it to be in. And I think I said this here off air. I think I said to you it's more they're looking for a window, 3 to 5 years on this card while they try and build the next.
I mean, like
basically building its next big thing. I'll drop the link in chat for you guys.
At the moment, we have speculation on what the card can do and how it performs. There is no hard numbers. There's the extraordinarily vague numbers that AMD gave off during the presentation, which
it wasn't very clear cut, was it? It wasn't.
So there have been reviewers who have done their research and tried to work out roughly the performance that you would get, and for some things it comes close to the 4090. It doesn't surpass it. It definitely eats the 4080 alive, which makes it very interesting because if it's directly competing against the 4080, already it's cheaper and it has a lower TDP. So it could be a winner if you're sort of aiming for that pocket, I guess. The only downside is ray tracing, obviously. I mean, you're looking at...
We're kind of getting out of that, though, aren't we?
I don't know. Like, it's sort of mixed reactions because, for some people, we're just getting into it. For us, we're like, well, it's a fad. It's still like tech demos and, oh, look what we can do with ray tracing. But, I mean, NVIDIA's on their 3rd generation of, ray tracing tech. So, obviously, they're going to be far more superior when it comes to ray tracing than AMD is going to be. That's fact.
100%. That's, exactly right. Yeah. That's not even in question right now.
If ray tracing is your thing, go NVIDIA. Don't.
But make sure you've got a house to put your card into because it's huge.
Yeah, right. And make sure you have like a backup generator just to charge your GPU.
So as I said to you when we were having our discussion about this, look, if someone like we spoke in depth about this, especially with my setup specifically.
Yes.
If I was to replace the graphics card, I would have to modify my setup to match that card because their ports have decided to use now. And don't get me wrong, Radeon, AMD, they've always kind of been quirky with what they do. But to put 2 display ports, 1 HDMI, and then a USB-C in there, I'm not quite sure they thought about the market at that present point in time.
Mind you, okay, this is the Founders Edition. Well, Founders Edition. It's not really called Founders Edition.
No,
but it is the main card, right? So AIB partners, they could end up putting an extra port on the card. Like, there's nothing really stopping them from doing that. They could do that. So we'll just have to wait and see what the AIB partners actually do. The only problem is that they're going to be significantly bigger. compared
Exactly.
to the original card. And the original card comes in at what was it, 2 points? It's basically a 2.3 slot card. So already significantly smaller than the RTX 4000 series.
All the details are in there. All details are in those links in chat anyway, and we'll post those in the video as well.
Yeah.
So definitely check those links out. But
I mean,
look,
I'm interested.
Like I said, I mean, like again, I said to you this in our chat away from the show, but I see it in two facets. I do see the side of it that is actually going to be a benefit because of the cost saving, the power draw, all that kind of stuff, and the size. Also, you don't need a case the size of a card just to put your GPU in. I mean, there's been some good funny memes about that 4090 getting around Twitter for weeks now, and it's funny. But I also see some people are going to look at it and go, straight away, it just doesn't do what they want it to do, because you're looking at your developers and stuff now really pushing that limit, and they're trying to, I guess in a lot of ways, developers are catering to NVIDIA. NVIDIA pops a card, they push to that card. NVIDIA pushes another card, they push it. So they're always pushing to NVIDIA's side. And I did say to you, Radeon or AMD needed to come with something that was benchmarking very high to kind of match that system. And I think matching off the 4080, probably not so bad. But like I also said to you, I don't think they've now got anything for another 2, maybe 3 years, which is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
They might be able to make a cheaper card, which will lack something, but I just don't think they've got another piggyback yet, And I think that's where NVIDIA's really pushed on. They go 3090, 3080, 3070, 30. They just bang, 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 bang. They just piggyback them all on top of each other. I just don't think AMD's quite got that ready yet.
Yeah. I don't know. The XT and the XTX variants are targeted at 4K gaming. So they're not necessarily targeting, say, your setup where you've got the multi-monitor sort of like scenario going on.
It is aimed at the gaming side, yes, very much.
Yes. And that's another thing too. Like people are wondering how workloads are going to be affected. Say like video editing and all those sorts of like harder things. I mean, the card now does have encoding, simultaneous encoding and decoding of H.264, HEVC, and AV1. Which is essentially future-proofing it, which is very cool. But as you pointed out, is it a dedicated chip like NVIDIA has now? Or is it still sort of
cards.
a part of a part of the GPU?
Well, like I said to you, I mean, if someone's really going to push their GPU and then all of a sudden they start to stream and it attacks their onboard stuff for that GPU, they have to decrease something else, which is going to make the experience not quite so so friendly. For one, the streamer, the viewer, all that kind of stuff, it changes. And I mean, we see it with RTX. It's not great, and it's not persistent, if that makes sense.
But what we don't know anything. That's the problem.
No, that's the thing. We don't know.
We don't know how they've implemented their encoding and decoding. Is there a dedicated chip to it? Is it software managed? But the biggest thing is that the XT has 20 gig of GDDR6, and the XTX has 24 gig of GDDR6. So it's very possible that they've really pushed the RAM numbers to sort of
cater for that.
Offset, the processing needed. And if that's what they've done, and it works without diminishing returns to your gaming experience, okay. If it doesn't affect the gaming experience, that's fine. But if
if it doesn't affect the gaming experience and they have a challenger, I mean, probably not a top challenger, but they have a challenger and they have a ground base to work off. You know, they have a basis that they can literally sit down and say, right, we did this. This is what we achieved. Now we need to fine tune it and make it that much better, because that's what they need to do. They need to have a difference, and they've gone with the RDNA 3 the architecture, so they're definitely moving up with their architecture and stuff like that. So they are moving with the times, but at how much can they do in this architecture is where my concern is they've gone this whole new build for this card, and this is what they've done with the chiplet design. How much more can they really do with it? Like, you know, that's what we've got to wait and see. And you know, is it 12 months? Is it 18 months before they announce the next one that'll be another year away? I don't know, but they have a challenger if this works.
If
it doesn't work in its current form, I don't know.
I can see it working. I think all they really need is for people to adopt it. I think that's
100%. I mean,
they need that adoption for their future enterprise. Oh yeah, absolutely.
With any tech, that's what you want. I mean, someone comes with something new, you want people to adopt it. That's what you want from their industry.
People are going to buy it. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that people are going to buy these flagship cards. Fuck, I'm even considering it myself. But it's you know, I was like you. I was expecting, you know, a card that was really gonna, it had to sort of hit hard, you know, to stay 100%. In the market. But considering we've got Intel, you know, in the market now as well, and they're garbage, it's really not that much of a competition. But I think they may have done well. It's very balanced. It's hitting high, but it's not hitting too high. But it's a whole brand new design. Yeah. So I think, I mean, it was the same with the CPUs. You know, they went for the chiplet design, and they've just exploded in that market. Like, they've just, I mean, if you look at the new Epic CPUs, I mean, like 96 cores. Things are fucking. It's absolutely huge, but I mean, it's a monster. It's a monster CPU. Like AMD CPUs can crunch numbers hard. And I think if they go along the same path with the GPUs, they go for the chiplet design, and they just, like, the next one, they can just go ham at it because they've got the base work there. They needed the base.
Oh, you're exactly right. Yeah.
You know, and they've got an advantage because the chiplet design obviously is going to produce more yields because the silicone's much smaller, but it has the potential to create less heat because there's smaller silicon chips on it. That's right, compared to Nvidia, where they've got the monolithic dies, and they just refuse to change anything about it.
We spoke about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, come the next generation,
we spoke about we spoke about Nvidia kind of being at their limit now. Like, you can't continue to push these cards from, you know, this big to fuck. I may as well just clip it in my wall type thing, because, you know, there has to be a reality point that Nvidia goes through at some point and says, hey, this is just ridiculous. We're making a 5-bay card. You know, no motherboard's going to hold that weight. Like, you're going to need jack stands and shit to hold that card up in your tower. They're already at a point. I think Nvidia's already at a point where they need a new architecture. They need to scrap this RTX line and say, right, we need to rework something. This 40 series card needs to be the end of Nvidia for 5 years. I hate to say it, but Nvidia needs to go back to the drawing board and rework their entire design the way AMD's just done for the last 3 years. They've been working on this for 3 years.
Yeah.
They knew they were out of the market. They knew they needed to come back with something that'll give them a direction for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, but, like, where do Nvidia go? they've already got a monolithic die running at 5 nanometers, right? They've hit the limit for Moore's law, right?
I mean,
you,
that's
I
the
mean,
that's the wondrous question. Where do they go?
but do they go for a chiplet design? And if they do, AMD's won because they're already
Well, I
ahead of
mean,
the game. They know how to do chiplet
that's
designs.
right, but that's the point: is will Nvidia now take that AMD card and scrutineer over it and go, "Oh, we can do this, this, and this much better," and then come back with the same sort of design and kind of bury the AMD card?
All
So,
right. If I
this is
if I
the
had to
backwards and
take
forwards.
if I had to take a wild stab in the dark about the direction that Nvidia would go, I would say that they would go for a two silicon design. So they'd go for two smaller silicon chips,
Yep.
basically side by side. That's where I could see them going. The monolithic design has hit its limit. It
Oh,
is
it's
too big. It creates too much heat. Clearly, because you've got like fucking the Founders is a 3.5 slot card.
I mean, that's
Right.
huge. Like,
All
what are you
right.
talking? This big?
So
That's
AMD's
massive.
AIB partners, I think Asus is a 3.63 slot card. Right. That's an AIB partner. Right. And it's a little bit longer, but it fits in your case. That's the thing. Right? You've already got an RTX 4090 Founders that doesn't fit in your case. And you've
Yeah,
got
some of those
AIBs
setups are
that can
crazy.
be much bigger. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
yeah. I don't think they can stay with a monolithic design. They will go for a two silicon chip design. They won't go for a chiplet design because then they're kneeling down to AMD saying, "You're superior than us. You've won."
Yeah, and they want to be the
They're going to
superior one.
continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to continue to do their own thing. And
Absolutely.
having
I mean,
having the two silicon design will cut down on heat, uh,
it'll
theoretically,
cut down on
because you've got
TDP, it'll cut down on size, it'll cut down everything.
yeah, and that's the other thing. The, the design of the GPU has to change. This,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the 3000 series was fine. It was different. The design was okay, but they were like, "Hey, this works. Let's continue it on to the 40 series." It doesn't work. Clearly, it doesn't
No.
work. The single fan design does not work for the amount of power
Well,
that it's
clearly,
drawing.
after some of the pictures we've seen.
Right. So like melted clips and
Yeah,
shit. Like
I think they need to. I mean, they
it's
need to come back with
right.
something. I mean,
The
it's
next generation, the next generation of GPU is going to be hot. Like there's going to be some serious shit hitting the fan next generation. This generation,
well. I mean, the
it's more
next.
about planting your feet in the ground.
Yeah. Well, the next
Apart from
generation
Nvidia.
definitely is going to have a lot of that, and we spoke about it, and the XTX and the XT. This is a feature we haven't touched on just yet, but we will now.
Hmm.
And I think the next generation of GPUs is going to really look at and try and hard push 8K. I
Well, I
think they're going to
mean,
have a very big push at 8K. I mean, the XTX and the XT can do 8K now.
I think it's more of
I
a.
still think that's too early.
I think the 8K thing is more of a showboaty move. It's like, oh, hey, we can do 8K 60 FPS. If you
Yeah.
can say that you do that, then naturally, when it comes to 4K gaming, which is what they're actually intending to hit,
Yeah,
it's going
that's right.
to absolutely decimate.
But that's what I'm saying.
So,
Though. I can see the push being, trying to push that bigger. Oh, we can do 8K at 120, or we can do 8K at 180. It's just going to be that general roll-on effect between AMD and Nvidia. So who's got the bigger balls, basically? Like who can push it to its limit?
I mean, I think I have faith in AMD. I think that what they're doing is the right thing, and they're heading down the right path. Nvidia is just going to strip your wallet of everything that it has inside of it.
And your tower.
Yeah. That's
and your
that's
electricity
where they're
bill.
going.
And your... Look, I said to you, look, AMD's been out of the market for too long. Like, their GPUs have always been just that step down. They've always been just chasing the ball. They've always been chasing it. Are they at the top yet? I don't think so. But they are challenging. They are coming with something fresh. And I think that's the breath of fresh air that's going to be needed for that GPU market in general.
And it was the same with the CPUs, though. Because Intel was top dog, so Intel thought that they were the shit and they couldn't do anything wrong, and everything was fucking hunky dory. Then AMD came out,
with Ryzen
for their second thing, with Ryzen, and naturally Intel's like, AMD, what are you doing? Just don't even bother. And then they started to shake up the market, and AMD really shook up the market and showed this is what a CPU can do, And
this
Intel
is only the beginning of what we can do.
Intel was stuck in their ways. They were like, we'll just keep the same sort of architecture. We'll just make it, and that's what Nvidia, but even now, the 13th generation i9, I believe, does just topple the new Ryzen 9. Like, just. So, but it's causing that competition, though. It caused them to
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Rethink whatever they were doing. Yeah. And I think we're at the threshold now with Nvidia, where Nvidia got complacent. They were taking everyone's money because they thought, we're Nvidia. People will just buy our shit anyway.
Yeah.
And now AMD's come out with something radically different, where they need to start thinking about their future.
Well, I think AMD, providing people, like you said, providing people adopt it, buy it, use it,
and I think they will
play with it, and do whatever with it. I think that's what will push the direction of Nvidia. They'll be like, oh, there's now like 1 million of these already sold. What? But we only sold like 300,000 of ours. There'll be a reason. They'll have to start looking, cost effectiveness, total like TDP, size, everything like that, specs, everything. They'll have to start looking at it.
Yeah, and I think the reason why AMD's gone along the right route is because they've looked at power draw, which is less than Nvidia, and price per performance.
Yeah,
if you compare that with the 4080, decimated, gone. Like,
the 4080
completely blown it out of the water.
To the XTX, the 4080 is buried. Like, there's no question.
Yeah. So,
providing
and that's what people are going to look at.
Your focus is gaming. I still want to see the XTX stream. I want to see that material. I want to see if that has the guts to it.
So, considering the AV1 encoding and decoding can do up to 8K 60, I believe, on the card, I don't see it being a major issue. I mean, if you're looking at streaming, you're looking at 1080p 60, some arbitrarily small
no, I get that.
I get that.
What I want to see is the peak draw power and everything while you're pushing a game to its limits and trying to stream it. I want to see that, because I don't think it's and to be fair, AMD haven't shown much. And that video we put up in the links before, that'll show that it's a lot of talk.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of substance there. So
and
again, I want to see numbers. I want to see power numbers. I want to see power draw. I want to see heat numbers.
And the only extra thing that we've had since then was that they've announced FSR3.
Yeah.
And that was like yesterday, I think. So,
yeah.
Okay, that's cool. What about all the other hard evidence that we need? This is why we need to wait for reviewers to get their hands. I mean, they've probably already got their hands on them, but
I mean, for sure they would have sent.
We have to wait for those embargoes before we start seeing. And we're going to have these reviewers absolutely push these cards to the limit, though. They're going to test 4K gaming, 8K gaming. They're going to test the encoding and decoding. They're going to make sure that they get the most out of these cards. Put them in real world scenarios, put them, through the blender tests and
absolutely.
4K
The liquid
video
nitrogen
editing.
on them while they overclock the shit out of it.
Like, it'll take a week or two, but we'll get all the information we need. Unfortunately, we have to wait because the cards launch on December 13th.
Yeah,
and we're still. I guarantee we're still a
12
couple of
days
weeks
before
away.
Christmas.
What a great time! I'm gonna be broke for Christmas. See, but for me, I want to see the numbers. I do just as much as anything else. I want to see how it performs, but I have faith that it's going to be a damn good card. It's also going to be fantastically better than what I've currently got. So,
but I mean, if you're in that AMD family, and you've got the last generation card, 100%, this is a big step above. There's no question about it. Those who are maybe running a 30 series card waiting, look, you're going to see minimal. To be fair, you're not going to see a great deal of difference.
I mean, but that's what we're going to wait for the reviews for, because they're gonna compare them with those.
Yeah, exactly.
The last generation cards in this generation.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the AMD family. I took the punt, when AMD first came out, Reborn and whatnot, and I'm absolutely glad that I did. But I've got a 5700 XT. Me upgrading now makes a huge amount of sense. Upgrading to the last generation of card, it was like, but I don't really need it. This might be the tipping point for me, where I'm like, right, this is my upgrade generation.
But would you go the XTX or the XT?
I can't help myself, so I would probably go the XTX.
But for what reason? 4 gigs more RAM. Is that it?
Because
the XT is exactly the same card, just 4 gigs less RAM.
Yes, but also because I'm running a single system setup. So if I guess it's just to have that overhead, so I could essentially push a game to decent limits,
but if you're confident
decode
in the product
all at the same time,
if you're confident in the product, then you would go an XT. You save yourself more dollars.
But there's only $100 difference between the two,
which is about 4 gigs of RAM. So why wouldn't you save yourself $100?
So we're looking at $899 US for the XT and $999 US for the XTX. Look. I don't know.
See, this is where I poke that tiger a little bit and just get, because again, ultimately,
you make a valid point.
XT now. I mean, the XT would be more than capable, and it would be a big jump from your current XT card.
Significantly, yes.
You're going from what's your current card? 12 gig? You're going to 20 gig?
Oh no, it's 8.
And
so I'm going from 8 8 to 20.
To 20.
Yeah.
So again, you wouldn't need to go from 8 to 24. So, that 4 gig, if you're really confident in the product, you wouldn't need that 4 gig of extra RAM to say, oh, but I've got a little bit of overhead. If you're confident.
Yeah, but all right, so it's not just
put your money where your mouth is and go for the XT.
You got higher clock speeds as well. So
minimal difference.
I guess it comes down. It comes down to personal needs, really. Everyone's going to be different. People are going to think, the XT. Shut up! Don't do it to me. People probably think that the XT will be enough. I can't help myself. I will probably go for the XTX because it is an extra $100 US. All right, so it's going to be significantly more over here. I don't know. I have until December 13th to figure it out. So,
so what did you say it was? $999.
So
it's $1,500 Australian.
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
1300 for the XC.
all right. So over here, we're looking at $200. I don't know. I
See,
don't know.
this is what I like to do
really...
in chat. I do this through IRL as well. I just keep poking him until he looks and goes, "You bastard, you got me."
You really pinned me under a thumb there. Yeah. But yeah, as a memory like there, it would be very interesting if EVGA actually adopts like the AMD side, because naturally, if you've been living under a rock, EVGA has discontinued their partnership with Nvidia, for whatever reasons.
I'm not sure, like whether that. I mean, overall, I mean, yeah, that's been a long term thing that's kind of hit ahead and whatnot. I'm just not sure whether it's in EVGA's interest to go to AMD or whether they would be smarter to jump on board with Intel for their
Uh,
Intel GPUs.
I don't know, but what? See, I don't. But there's no
Because you already
AIBs
have,
jumping on the Intel GPU train.
that's my
So
point. AMD already have
maybe
their AIVs anyway.
there's a reason for
EVGA,
that.
maybe EVGA could jump on that Intel bandwagon and maybe just kind of guide that into an area
I
where
don't
it
know.
does challenge. I mean, you got to think
if you've
they've got all that knowledge now as well with
yeah,
Nvidia that they've had. It wouldn't be hard to
yeah. I mean,
shape and
if
shift
you've
a little
seen
bit.
a teardown of the Intel GPUs, they make you want to throw up. The way they've constructed their GPUs is disgusting.
But think about the benefit that EVGA would bring to Intel. Like, think about that partnership for a minute.
But also, those cards don't need to go with AIB partners. Like, there's nothing more that those cards can give.
No, but think about the experience that EVGA has over the last 10 or 15 years with NVIDIA.
Yeah.
What have they got that they could bring to Intel and share with Intel to say, hey, this is our card. This is what we did.
Yeah, but I can't see it happening. I mean, I don't think there's enough overhead to say make an overclockers edition of the Intel A770. Like, I don't.
No. But you're thinking making overclock. I'm saying, what if they bring their experience to Intel?
Like, help them design their next product or possibly.
Would make sense, wouldn't it? Because, I mean, AMD don't really need it. Clearly, NVIDIA don't need it because they just, okay, whatever, bye, see ya.
I mean, very clearly, NVIDIA aren't listening anyway.
Yeah, right. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, I guess from a design perspective, they could assist Intel into going about things a different way.
That's what I'm thinking. There could be an alliance there that, because it seemed awfully coincidental that EVGA left NVIDIA right as the Intel stuff started to flow. That seemed to be a very coincidental time frame.
Yeah, slightly coincidental.
And then, only a matter of weeks or so later, the new AMD's announced. So, look, whether they jump on the AMD train or whether they jump on an Intel, I mean, time will tell, really. But it just seems very coincidental that, that was announced and then Intel started with this stuff. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to see EVGA actually become part of Intel and actually really work with it, because I think EVGA cards have been probably some of the better cards in
absolutely. It's in the industry, EVGA has just absolutely dominated. But on the GPU side of things, I'm sure people would remember the RTX 4080 12 gig got discontinued because it was confusing, because there was a 12 gig and a 16 gig card.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's now going to be renamed as the RTX 4070 Ti.
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean, but people were saying that it should have been a 4070. Like the reviewers were saying, like the way it's set up, the way it's designed, it was supposed to be a 4070. So, I mean, but I don't know what they're doing.
Forty
So,
70.5. Yeah, right.
so are they going to be releasing it as the 4070 Ti before they release the 4070?
I don't know, dude.
I think they should have just gone.
I'm so lost with where and look, I don't even think Nvidia know anymore where they're up to because they're just too busy trying to pump things out. I don't know what to do. Like I've got a 2060 Super, and I'm at a point where I'm thinking, do I upgrade? What do I upgrade to? Do I go to a 40 series on? It won't fit in my damn case. So I go to a 30 series on that I'm still not going to be up to that level. Do I go to an AMD knowing that I've got to modify my entire setup? You know, what do I do? You know, like, and for the consumer, um, it's a big problem because in the last 12 months we've seen the generation of the 30 series and the 40 series. So like the 30 series hasn't even been around 12 months and already smashing it with a 40 series card. It's just like
Yeah.
it's so annoying.
It's a money grab. That's all Nvidia is doing right now. They're sort of hopping on the bandwagon and just sort of rolling, without a care in the world.
You know, I'd love to upgrade and go to a new car, but I don't know which one now.
Things will settle down eventually.
I mean, the
Probably not with
prices are
Nvidia,
coming
but
down. I mean, the prices of the 30 series are stagnating and they are just leveling out a little bit more, but I mean, they're still stupidly high for what they are.
yeah.
Considering you've got a brand new series that you've got as a premium line, you're still trying to flog off the 30 series at like almost the same sort of level. It's like, come on now, you've got to drop those 30 series prices because they're not your premier line anymore.
Yeah. I mean, but that comes down to demand as well. Obviously
Well,
the demand for the 30 series is still very high, so the price is going to stay high.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just sort of how it works. Yeah, because I mean, it's a bad generation when people are still debating what series to go for.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
They're opting between the 30 series and the 40 series. They're not like, oh, hey, I'm going to go for the 40 series.
Yep.
All kind of bad. But yeah. So sad news. EA has discontinued Project Cars. It's done, dusted. They've yanked the plug.
Sorry, I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're well and truly into the third iteration of the series, and they've just gone, nah, we're cutting ties. Like it's done.
Yep.
Project Cars 3. Oh no, 3 came out, didn't it? 3's come out, so it's 4. Sorry.
No.
No, did 3 come out?
No, I don't think 3
I can't remember.
Out, no.
Anyway, they've cancelled development of Project Cars 4. That I know.
Project Cars is non-existent.
Yeah, so it's done and dusted. I mean, I'm not overly upset by it.
I'm not.
I think I
really
still
like it.
have
It was
Project
still a
Cars
gimmick.
2 wrapped in plastic somewhere.
It was still a gimmick to me. Like it wasn't just there. But while we're also on the news of cancelling games, and some of you may or may not have played it, but Scavengers. The Battle Royale style looter shooter is also closing down this December. So it won't be around. So again, I'll drop that link in the chat for you guys as well. If you want to check them out, they'll be in the video comments as well.
And we'll wrap things up with this last one. It was the last one that you posted in here.
Oh god.
So yeah, so someone went to Twitter and complained that they got banned for lurking in a Twitch chat, saying that do people not appreciate lurkers on Twitch anymore? Like, why? Like, the only thing I can think of as to why people would ban lurkers is because it doesn't contribute to the concurrent viewers.
That's the only reason I can see it, dude.
That's it.
Quite simply,
it's going to force people to chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either you chat or you get banned.
It's pretty much what it is, and I mean the way the current stature is with Twitch right now is you've got to be in that top echelon. You've got to push for that top space. You know, I've seen more affiliate paperwork come out this last 2 weeks than I've ever seen on Twitter. And look, like I said in our planning folder, look, it's ownership. It's Twitch ownership. They own you at that point. Why would you grind your ass out? And I know someone there, I was watching one the other day, they've been grinding for 3.5 months to get affiliate so they can have emotes and subs. Come to Glimish. You get a better payout more frequently and you don't need the freaking crap. Like you straight away, day one, you've got all that anyway.
But it's not Twitch.
You don't get that affiliate badge. Like you don't have a badge that says I'm an affiliate. No, that badge isn't saying affiliate. That badge says
it's
that
the
they
title.
own you.
Yeah, it's the title.
It's exactly that. It's a title, and that's
like,
why we're seeing these
I'm
bans
affiliate.
start to increase now.
You know, I'm in the Trovo 500. I'm a Trovo partner.
Yeah. And that's why you're starting to see these bans, because you can't have these people that are just dormant in your chat. I mean, that's not streaming. You know, like that's bullshit. Like just because Twitch doesn't want to accept lurkers, and big middle finger to Twitch for that. Lurkers are the backbone of a stream. That, you know, whether they're counted or not, there's no reason that a lurker should be banned. I'm sorry. It's just wrong. It's just segregating the community even more because, you know, again, like I said once before on the show, if I was going to bed because of my time zone difference, if I was going to bed and I knew that I had friends that were going to stream while I was in bed, I'd have their channels up. Yes, I'd be lurking, but I'd be there still supporting, you know, having it on, and I'd, you know, have them on auto host and things like that. You know, it's just sad that Twitch has gotten to a point now where because you lurk because of time zones, or you might be at work yourself, or you might be doing other things IRL, you get banned from the channel. I mean, one, it doesn't look good for the streamer anyway, and two, it makes a platform look like an absolute dog pile of shit. And to be fair, it's a dumpster fire and it's burning down. It's burning very quickly right now.
I mean, the whole Twitch thing, it's they want people to chat. They want interactions because the more interactions you have, the bigger you grow. They're forcing that. Yeah. They're forcing that. And some people are obviously, you know, taking it a little too seriously. Where they're like, no, I only want people who are going to chat with me or interact with my chat. Everyone else can just go away. Obviously, you're not wanted here, or you don't want to be here. They come up with some bullshit excuse.
Exactly.
So
right.
I'm going to ban you. You clearly don't want to be here. I'm just going to have people who interact with me and my chat, so I can.
And I think it's disgusting. But that's that upper echelon, isn't it? That's that, I'm going to be big. I'm going to be the next big thing and no one's going to get in my way. You know, it's like, if you're going to lurk in my channel, you can fuck off. You know, that's pretty much what it is. And it's
how many viewers would these partnered streamers lose if they banned all the lurkers? Right, the people who weren't interacting in their chat.
I don't even want to begin to think about that because the number would be ridiculously high.
Be astronomical. It'd be more than 60%.
But ask the other question, right? How many of these so-called partnered streamers, these big streamers, would be where they are without the use of bots?
Right. But like all
Zero.
the partnered
Absolutely
streamers
none.
got
I'm sorry to say it.
but yeah, but
Using
like
bots.
these partnered streamers got partnered during a time where lurkers counted.
Yep.
So
And bots were basically, you could use bots as lurkers.
yeah. So I mean, I guarantee if you went into a stream that had 10,000 people watching, 9,000 of those viewers would disappear if you banned all lurkers.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Absolutely guarantee it.
Because most people go into those channels and go, I'm not going to get a word in edgeways, so I'll just sit here and watch it.
Yeah.
That's like literally, I've sat there and I've seen friends in the chat and I'm like, whisper, hey, how you doing? You're not chatting. I'm like, what's the point? Won't get seen anyway. It's like, then why are you here?
Yeah,
roll down the
I've
list
done
and
it.
find somebody who's more appropriate for your,
I've been in one of those chats, and I've seen the chats in slow mode, right? Chats been in slow mode. I put something in, it's like, there it is, gone. Like immediately, it's just off the page. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to interact with anyone?
If exactly. The chat's and then you get banned because you're lurking, but you can't interact.
Right? Yeah. Oh,
so again, it's a never-ending circle. It's a vicious circle, and look, it's only getting worse. And like I say, we said this weeks ago on the show, the takeover is coming. One way or another, something is going to happen with Twitch in the next 12 to 18 months, where it's probably not going to be what we know it. Something's going to happen there for sure. Now, whether they just phase out the small streamer and they only focus on people above like 150 concurrent viewers every day, I don't know. But they have to do something because they can't maintain their business model, strategy model, whatever, as it is right now. Something's going to give.
No, they're either prepping everyone for a move to YouTube. I mean, that's the obvious choice. Or
they're already hosting how to.
Yeah,
they're hosting seminars how to build your YouTube channel. Like, I mean, come on now.
How to build your YouTube channel? Yeah. Or they're prepping everyone for a complete shutdown. In which case, everyone's used to the YouTube way of life. People will move over to YouTube.
They'll bolt to YouTube. Yeah.
So
something's going to happen.
Yeah, one word.
Something is on those cards. Yeah. But anyway, that'll wind us up today. We went a little bit over time, but hey, that's all right. Good chats as always. Again, don't forget, we did ask in the show there to go and give us your thoughts and opinions on should your relationship be disclosed to your stream. Drop us your info in the comments. Hit us up. Yes, no. Give us a reason. Yes, they should be because it stops this, or no, it shouldn't be because it's personal. Whatever. Drop those in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, because we wouldn't mind doing a follow up on that at some stage.
Oh, absolutely. If we get enough connection on that, we'll definitely touch again next show, and we'll follow up with that and see what you guys are thinking. But definitely give us some feedback on the video. Drop the comments in below. Don't worry, all the links will also be in there on the new AMD XTX card and the XT card, and also the comparison there with the 4080 and how they sort of stack up a little bit. But that'll wind us up for this one. Make sure you're tuning in 2 weeks' time for the next show. And if you want to be a guest on the show, please come and join us.
Yes.
Hit us up on the SideNote. Whoops. How do I get
Not
it right?
That one.
Hit us up on the Discord. Keep your eyes on the Twitter as well, because we post out there and ask if anyone wants to come and join the show. So make sure you get in there. Come and join us. Share your thoughts, your views. Get in on the subject. Get in on the chat.
Yes. It is much better to have multiple people's opinions rather than just our own.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We love it. But anyway. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you to YouTube if you're watching later on. We appreciate your time and your effort. And if you want to lurk during the show, by all means, we love lurkers.
Yes.
Bye, guys. See you next time.